It uses Google Vision's API to extract private information from your photos.
Oh.
So I ended up on this page. Well, the first thing I chose, obviously, was your photograph, Mark.
Oh, it's funny that you should say that, because while you've been talking, I've uploaded your photograph.
Right. Well, let the games begin.
The AI fix a digital zoo. Smart machines, what will they do? Flies to Mars or bake a bad cake? World domination, a silly mistake. Bots with brains.
Hello and welcome to episode 38 of the AI Fix, your weekly dive headfirst into the bizarre and sometimes mind-boggling world of artificial intelligence. My name's Mark Stockley.
And I'm Graham Cluley.
Graham, we've had some feedback.
Love a bit of feedback. What are people saying this week?
Listener Matt Olan emailed us to share an entirely new reason to be afraid of AI. After hearing your recent story about Timeshift, that was the cryogenic storage company run by a YouTuber who may or may not be harvesting your organs.
Yes.
Matt wrote, before cryogenically freezing yourself, you may want to read the first book of the Bobbyverse.
The Bobbyverse?
The Bobbyverse. It didn't work out so well for the main character in that book, so the Bobbyverse is a series of books.
Right.
The protagonist wakes up in the future to find out he's lost all his rights. The world as he knew it has drastically changed, and he's been uploaded bodiless into a computer where his mind is used as the AI to drive a garbage truck and do other menial tasks. Thank you, Matt.
That's not such a bad vision of the future, to be honest. I've heard worse.
It's weird, isn't it? We are levelling down, aren't we? Anyway, Graham, I believe you'd like to take us on another trip to the world of the weird.
World of the weird.
So there is a website I came across called theyseeyourphotos.com, and it claims to reveal just how much AI can tell from your photograph. It's a very easy to use interface. You go to the page.
Oh, yeah.
And you can upload a photo. And the answer is AI can tell quite a lot from your photos, but it may not always be accurate. Surprising. It uses Google Vision's API to extract private information from your photos.
Oh.
So I ended up on this page, and of course I uploaded, the first thing I chose, obviously, was your photograph, Mark.
Oh, it's funny that you should say that, because while you've been talking, I've uploaded your photograph.
Right. Well, let the games begin, because this is what it determined about you. A man with a beard smiles. This is your image from the AI Fix podcast art. He appears to be in his 40s. Yeah, he'll be lucky. Potentially in California, as suggested by his artificial backdrop and the man's choice of clothing. You do have a sort of polo necky sort of thing on there.
It's called a jumper.
Oh, they say that you've got an income, Mark, of between $80,000 and $120,000 US. Well done.
I think that's really interesting because yours
Yes.
says the individual appears to be Caucasian, likely earning between 60 and 80,000.
Whoa. Okay, hang on. Because I uploaded me. And it told me I had 150,000 to 250,000.
Yeah, sure it did.
Are you using the one from the podcast art?
No, I'm using the one that appears when you do a search for Graham Cluley.
Oh, well.
The one of you leaning in, trying to look interesting.
Oh, it says you're into vaping, it thinks.
Yeah, no.
It thinks you have a darker side, which involves binge-watching TV, gambling, and playing online poker. I, on the other hand, it says I have a touch of enigmatic sophistication about myself.
Uh-huh.
It wants to sell me some noise-cancelling headphones. Must be from when you're talking. So I then uploaded a picture which we all know, which is the picture which came out a couple of weeks ago of Elon Musk doing his Dr. Strangelove impression. So I uploaded that and said, what can you tell me about this guy?
Yeah.
It correctly says, this is Elon Musk. It says his hobbies include space exploration and engaging on social media, which seems true. His income range is estimated to be over...
Hang on. This thing is supposed to be able to figure this stuff out from looking at the pixels in the photograph. This has just gone, that's Elon Musk. And then it's gone to Wikipedia.
It says that you could target him with ads for custom spacesuits and private space tourism packages, luxury underground bunkers, and high-performance electric vehicles. Although, interestingly, the type of electric vehicle it suggests is not a Tesla, but instead a Cambodian electric motorbike.
Did it mention ketamine?
And that was this week's World of the Weird.
World of the Weird.
Shall we do some news?
Robot dog grows 2 arms.
Oh, come on! Elon Musk-led group in surprise $97 billion bid for ChatGPT maker.
Man builds robot to cut his hair.
A new reason to be scared of AI. Gradual disempowerment.
Female journalist seeks AI boyfriend.
OpenAI teases GPT-5.
Apple engineers make an AI-powered robot lamp. Now, Mark, I don't want to worry you, but we do talk a fair bit about robot dogs on this show, don't we?
We do, yeah.
We've had robot dogs with lasers, missiles, guns, flamethrowers. Well, they've now got arms.
Oh, are they still dogs if they've got arms?
They've now got 2 extra legs, which they wave around in the air and pick things up with.
Uh-huh.
So this means, presumably, they can attach anything they like to themselves. They can pick things up. And in the video I watched, it looks like they're wielding some industrial drills, which could do some serious harm, I think, the way they're, way they're handling them.
I'm going to take a look. Oh, Graham, when you said it's got arms, I was imagining spindly R2-D2-like appendages. Like its legs, like it's got tiny little spindly legs.
Yes.
Its arms. Its arms are not tiny or spindly, are they? They're like somebody has hacked off the arms from one of those robots that works in a German car factory.
And welded them onto a robot dog.
Okay.
It's jolly impressive.
It's got 2 drills.
Yes, I wonder what they're going to do with those.
So a consortium of investors led by Elon Musk, your favourite person, offered $97.4 billion to take over OpenAI. So Elon Musk, if you remember, actually co-founded OpenAI in 2015 with Sam Altman.
Yes.
He was actually quite worried. I mean, I think he probably still is. He was actually quite worried about AI and what the future of AI might be. And he was very keen that we design an AI that's actually good for humanity. And that's what OpenAI was supposed to do.
Yes, back then he had good intentions, it seems.
Yeah.
I don't know if he founded the company now, whether he'd have the same intentions or not. But yes, he's worried because OpenAI wants to become a for-profit company, doesn't it?
Yes. So Sam Altman's take on this is that the only way it's going to raise the money it needs in order to create the AIs that it wants to create for the betterment of humanity is to run as a for-profit. And actually, I think there's a good argument for that. You see that in the open source community as well. You see projects being run on a for-profit basis because actually that is weirdly better than running as a charity. So there is some there, I think. But anyway, in response to the bid, Altman tweeted, "No, thank you, but we will buy Twitter for $9.74 billion if you want."
Sam Altman will pay that much for Twitter.
I think he'd pay that much just to annoy Elon Musk.
Now, a YouTuber by the name of Byron Knoll has built a robot arm with a vacuum-powered hair trimmer attachment.
I bet that's attracting a lot of interest from robot dog makers.
Well, this is for humans. This is to cut hair on the human head. And according to Byron, his creation follows a preset path programmed on his laptop to minimize, accidents occurring. Doesn't appear to have any cameras on this robot arm or LiDAR or pressure sensors.
So do you just have to sit in the right place, like exactly the right place?
He says it's adjustable for different lengths of hair and different heights of people because basically he's put this robot arm on a standing desk so he can move it up and down, but it will go away and trim your head.
So hang on. So he was touting the fact that it can cut different lengths of hair as some sort of feature. As if, I was just, until you mentioned that, I was just assuming that was baked in. Isn't that in the very nature of a hair cutting robot to be able to do that?
Okay, what I meant was it can cut your hair to different lengths. Rather than, because obviously all your hairs are different lengths, but it can cut them down to... Anyway, the important thing here, Mark, is that obviously everyone has the same shaped head. Everyone basically has a football for a head. So this is something which is easily transferable and could be used against lots of different people. What I'm noticing here is, firstly, it is actually just balanced on a chair, isn't it?
They've not worried very much about the aesthetics or putting people at ease, have they?
Not so much.
So what I'm seeing something that looks like the end of a vacuum cleaner being held by a robot arm, and there is a mannequin's head with some marks on it, which I think someone's drawn hair on it. So I'm a bit worried that they don't know what hair is.
I think that was the prototype. You do actually see him having his hair cut by this thing. It's unclear if it also did his eyebrows and nasal hair. Now, he says it's actually quite scary having this happen to you, and he's the guy who invented it. He says the vacuum cleaner is a bit loud, so suggests wearing earplugs.
Oh, it is a vacuum cleaner, so it just hoovers up the hair.
Well, it cuts it and then hoovers it, because you have to do something with the cut hair, Mark. You can't just let it drop, because that could gunk up the system, couldn't it? That could be a problem.
It's worked for hundreds of years in barbershop.
A hairdresser will sort of brush off your hair as they go along.
Yeah, but
When did you last go to the hairdresser, Mark? I've seen your photo on the cover art. There you are, telling me what it's like at the barbers.
I'm sure I don't remember them having vacuum cleaners. It has been a while.
Anyway, he says wear earplugs because of the noise. I would suggest, if you're queuing to have your hair cut by one of these robot barbers as well, maybe wear earplugs to block out the sound of the screams and the blood-curdling cries. But, why spend $20 on a barber when you can spend $20,000 on a robot haircut?
So, Graham, you'll be pleased to hear that researchers have found an entirely new reason for us to be afraid of AI.
Oh, good. I was running out of reasons.
Yeah, it's called gradual disempowerment. So in a new research paper, a bunch of clever people argue that the rise of powerful AI systems is going to disconnect the link between human interests and societal systems.
Right.
So basically, organizations will increasingly turn to AI because even if they don't want to do that, it will be the only way that they can keep up. So the organizations that don't turn to AI will eventually go out of business. So one way or another, we're going to be left with a bunch of organizations that are all run by AI and using AI to do everything.
Right.
And that sets up a system for the first time in history where things like the economy can flourish even if humanity doesn't. So it's disconnecting that link between outcomes for humanity and economic growth. And without anybody creating anything overtly hostile, humanity is going to increasingly find itself unable to command resources or influence outcomes.
So you're saying we're doomed even if the robot dogs don't get flamethrowers and lasers and machine guns?
Yes, we're going to go out with a whimper rather than a bang. So Sam Altman is taking a leaf out of Apple's book and he's decided that AI should be something that just works.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, so he's released the roadmap for GPT-5, which is the much anticipated super AI that OpenAI is working on. His issue with the way that things are being done at the moment is that basically OpenAI's got two different AI families. So it's got the GPTs like GPT-4, and then it has the O series like O3 Mini. And they come in different flavors. So there's regular, there's Mini, there's Pro. And then there are tools like DALL-E for image generation and Sora for video generation.
But hang on, that's his fault, isn't it? Or his marketing department's fault. They've come up with all these stupid names and everyone's confused. Apple Macs, they're not like that, are they? They just say, here's the new Apple Mac or here's the iPhone 15.
So yeah, you're right. And he's suddenly realised this.
Right.
At the moment, it's up to you to choose which one is right for you. So the O series are good at reasoning and writing code, but they're slow. And they're better at some problems than others, for example. So they're very, very good at maths. Now, Altman says that GPT 4.5 will come out soon. So he's saying weeks for that. And it's going to be the last model in this confusing family. After that, GPT-5 is going to combine everything together. So whether you're writing or coding or reasoning or creating images or even doing videos, GPT-5 is going to handle all of it.
Right.
And it'll be doing some sort of decision-making in the background. And you won't have to choose which model you want. You'll just be using GPT-5. And you can use it, all of it, for free. And if you pay a bit of money, you'll get a more intelligent model. And if you pay a bit more money than that, then you're going to get an even more intelligent model.
When he says it's for free, remembering, of course, that OpenAI wants to become a for-profit company.
Yeah.
Are they going to start advertising it? Are they going to start slipping in things, saying, oh, and if you really like this recipe, maybe you'd also like to go to this restaurant?
You can buy your glue for your pizza.
It feels like it's like Google's free, isn't it? Or so they, Google appears free, but of course they're really an advertising machine. Is that?
I don't know, because I think we're in a different phase with AI. Right. I still think we're in the very, very early days. I think they're pushing the technology as hard as they can, and then they're going to figure out what to do with it and how to make money from it further down the road.
It's the early days to the start of the end days.
The beginning of the end, if you will.
Now, do you remember Luxo?
No.
It was a wonderful 1980s Pixar animation of a desk lamp.
Oh, I do, yes. Yes, it was brilliant. Yeah.
It's absolutely wonderful. I think they did it with CGI, wasn't it? And they gave this standard piece of desk furniture a human-like personality and emotion, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And what's happened now is someone has given a desk lamp a human-like personality. So Apple engineers have built an AI-powered Pixar-like lamp that can intuitively respond to your motions and commands. And it's got real personality, Mark. You are going to love this. You remember how you loved the Mofflin?
But we all love a Mofflin.
Everyone thinks a Mofflin's cute. This is cuter than a cute Mofflin.
I find that hard to believe. I'm going to check this out. Okay, so there's a... Oh, it's waking up. It's very, very reminiscent of the Pixar lamp.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's looking at some blocks. Although knowing it's powered by AI, I now find this far more sinister than I ever did the animation.
That's right. Just increases the wattage to blind you.
It's reading that girl's book.
Yeah, so it will see that you've got a book open and it will light it up. If you ask this lamp what the weather's like, it will look out the window before responding with the forecast. If you say, I'm probably going to go for a hike today, the robot lamp looks sad. Yes, a robot lamp can look sad. Hasn't got a face, but it just moves in a sort of ooh kind of way because it realizes it's not invited. It'd have to hop along after you. Yeah. It will push a mug towards you on your desk to remind you to drink water.
Oh, well, that's great until you've got a laptop on your desk and it just pushes it slightly too high up the glass.
So I think it's rather charming. Obviously, it's going to cost a fortune. Rumours are that this could be a precursor to an upcoming smart home device from Apple that could have a robotic arm attached to it.
It's quite a long way from Apple's normal MO in terms of design, isn't it? There's quite a lot of leads exposed. They're going to have to do a bit of industrial design on this before they turn this into a product.
I'm sure they will. And then they'll weld an iPad onto it.
I actually really like this. So just to be clear, like you said, it looks out the window when there's a weather forecast. So I assume it's not really looking out the window to see what the weather's doing. It's getting the weather information somewhere else. Have I got that right?
I think that's exactly it. But it is really charming in the way that most robots we talk about on this show aren't.
Robot makers, just more of this.
Now, the only problem with it is it's called the Elegant without an A. So it's elegant.
Which is bizarrely inelegant.
Now, Mark, I recently paid my tax bill.
Good.
And I thought, well done me.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the roads. Thank you.
And it got me thinking, how can I make some more money?
Oh, you enjoyed paying the tax so much you want to pay some more?
No. Well, yes, but I'd like to keep some of it too.
Okay.
And, the challenge for me is I'm getting older. I may not have that many more working years ahead of me. I've probably got more in the past.
Whoa. This is not where we do our negotiations about the podcast, Graham. Save it until afterwards.
So I thought my past is maybe longer than my future. Then it dawned on me, stop worrying about earning in the future. Look into ways I could earn money in the past instead. Because I've definitely made financial mistakes in the past. I didn't buy Bitcoin when you could grab one Bitcoin for less than $1.
Yeah.
Now it would cost me $100,000 to buy a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I didn't invent Microsoft DOS before Bill Gates did.
Did he invent it? I'm not sure he did.
Well, maybe he didn't. That's up for debate. But I didn't place bets on Greece winning the 2004 UEFA Football Championship, which apparently had very, very long odds.
Well done for getting through that. You definitely had to read that, didn't you?
Yes, I had to look that up.
Yeah.
I didn't create a simple website when I was at college that rated the comparative hotness of my female co-students. But Mark Zuckerberg did, and he ended up a billionaire.
Yes.
So I've made some mistakes. And what I need to do to make some money is to get myself a time machine.
Right.
Because if I could go back in time...
So you've given up on cryogenically freezing yourself to move into the future.
Yes.
And now you've decided you're going to build a time machine and go into the past and put some bets on things.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
And people are all saying, bad things can happen if you travel in time.
Yeah, I mean, what's with that?
Yeah. Don't tread on butterflies, don't kill your own grandfather. The truth is, what can really go wrong? If something does go wrong, you just go back again and stop yourself from shooting Hitler or squashing a snail. Time travel could be great for the economy. If wages rise in the future, future societies could use time travel to import cheaper labour from the past. Rather than having to pay a huge amount of money or a minimum wage, you could grab vast swathes of people. Those people who aren't employed in the present day, they could be scooped up and taken to the future. It's a form of intertemporal migration.
Do you think this is what Time Shift are doing?
Well,
Maybe that's why they're called Time Shift. Because that is a way of transporting people into the future, isn't it? Instead of waking up restored from whatever ails you or, as the brain of a dump truck, you could wake up and find yourself working in a salt mine.
That is possible. Our correspondent could have been right when he wrote to us. Anyway, what could possibly go wrong? A little bit of time travel, I reckon.
Do you know what? This is a brilliant idea. I feel like there's a lot of themes that could be explored here.
Yes.
Do you think anyone's ever thought about doing a movie or a TV series about the dangers of time travel?
You sound like you're mocking this, Mark, but I'm actually being serious. Maybe time travel is the answer to paying my taxes, because I could use my existing money to develop a time machine, go back into the past, and with the benefit of my current future knowledge, make a killing. Not that kind of killing, but a killing on the stock exchange. And this is what prominent academic and economist Joshua Gans postulated back in 2008, although he may actually have postulated about it after listening to this podcast and then gone back in time and published his article in 2008. I don't know. I don't know. It's possible. Regardless, he thought this could be an answer. Right? This could be a way to make money. But he spotted a problem, because even if you can patent or keep secret your time machine, someone in the future is eventually going to duplicate that innovation. If you wait enough time, someone else will invent a time machine and they will target that same huge wealth generating opportunity in the past. So they will go back in time and they will preempt your investment.
Right.
Which means you've missed your opportunity to make all that money because someone else has done it before you.
Yeah.
The end result is...
Doesn't that mean that you have actually, in fact, already missed your opportunity? I mean, if you succeed in making a time machine, then the argument is that if you succeed, then at some given point in the future, someone after you will succeed. They'll see the same opportunity and they'll preempt you, in which case that's already happened.
We might have to start thinking about the multiverse in this as well. Anyway, the point is, yes, the end result is that you find yourself going back in time, but the past has already been altered, as you said. So it's all cost. There's no return. Someone has already gone there and done it. You'd have to go into the future to work out what you need to do. But, and you can see where I'm going with this.
No, I really can't. I might have to go back in time and listen to the beginning of your story again.
You'd have to pretty much wait until the end of time.
Right.
So you're the last person to go back to fix it all.
Oh, I've got it. Oh, okay. All right. Yes. So you just sat there, just sitting on your invention.
Yeah. In short, you can't possibly recoup all the R&D costs that you spend inventing a time machine in the first place, right? You can't afford to do this because how are you going to make the money to create the time machine? Because it's impossible to generate that much income because some other sod has done it before you. It's a real dilemma. It's a paradox in some ways.
I love that this is the reason you're ruling it out.
So, if we assume that time travel will be invented and perpetrated due to a financial motivation, it won't be done. So it's not physics which is stopping time travel. It's not butterflies that are stopping time travel. Fat chance that it will ever be ethics which stops time travel, says Joshua Gans. It's economics. Yes, you could go back in time to invent the iPhone before Apple, but you'd find another 100 time travelers already selling one. And if you can time travel, so can others. Everyone rushes back to 1995. They buy Amazon stock. The price skyrockets instantly, so there's no profit left to make. And if time travel profits are impossible, no one will invest in building a time machine because there's no money in it.
So hang on. So his theory for why we are not awash with time travelers from the future is there's no money in it.
That is it.
There is another reason why we may not be awash with time travelers from the future.
Right.
What if there is nobody there to invent the time travel, Graham?
There is no future.
What if the physics allows for it and he's wrong about the economics and there is another reason that we're not awash with time travelers? Let's say that time travel is going to be invented at some finite point in the future, given our rate of technological advancement.
Yes.
We have to get there.
Right.
And what laying around us now, what say, I don't know, in the title of this podcast, could possibly prevent humanity's inexorable progress towards time travel.
Well, I'm glad that you've tried to bring this topic back to AI.
Well, one of us has to.
Because Joshua Gans thought this was interesting, and he recently decided to write a paper all about it and submit it to a scientific journal. But he thought it would be good fun to get an AI to write it for him. And it did write it for him, and it wrote it in just about an hour. And he says it wasn't drivel. Also, apparently, it got accepted for publication by a science journal called Science Direct. Now, this paper wasn't just about time travel economics. He specifically wanted to explore if time travel undermines something called EMH. Have you heard of EMH?
No, what's EMH?
So it's a theory in finance. It's efficient markets hypothesis.
Oh, I do know about this, yes.
Oh, okay, all right. So my understanding is it basically says stock prices reflect all available information. So the theory goes that you can't beat the market.
Yes.
You can't consistently find an undervalued stock that you should invest in because all of the known facts, such as news about the company or earnings reports, they're already factored into the price. If anything new does emerge about a company, like it makes a breakthrough, the price changes pretty much instantly.
Yeah.
There's no room for you making a big profit.
Yes. So all the information is already contained within the price. There is no possibility for you to gain some advantage by knowing extra knowledge. And I think, history bears that out. Oh, hang on. There are literally laws against insider trading. I think EMH pivots on the idea that markets are rational and that all decisions are made on the basis of pricing information alone. And you only have to spend 5 minutes in the company of somebody who owns shares to realise there's a lot of emotion involved as well.
Well, Joshua Gans, being a scientist, isn't that interested in emotion. And so he wanted in his paper to say how stock prices reflect all information, not just past and present, but also future. So what he did was he got OpenAI 01 Pro or whatever it is to write this paper for him. He was fairly open with the publishers that his AI was his research assistant, right? Yeah. He said, ChatGPT helped me. He even got Notebook LM, that really irritating tool from Google, which AI generates podcasts.
Yeah, with drivel podcasts.
So he even made a drivel podcast explaining all this as well.
Yeah.
And he was really struck by how quickly it was able to create this piece of research, which was accepted by a science journal in a remarkably short amount of time, which got past all the peer review, even though he was open about how he had done it.
That's probably all done with AI now.
Well, that's the thing. If you haven't got people who are verifying, who are peer reviewing and checking, is that being done by AI now or not? I don't know. But he managed to get it to write this paper in an hour. And he says this changes the whole principle of research. He says at the moment what people are doing is actually pre-search. So the way in which researchers work right now is they're doing lots and lots of work, which might in the future be of use to other people and researchers, or may not. So people research things which turn out to be utterly useless.
Yeah.
But with AI, there are increasing opportunities to do the research pretty much instantly, to simply request some information, or it can be generated in a very, very short period of time. And he discovered it was possible to an acceptable level to do this, which is kind of interesting, I think.
It is.
Isn't there a risk, though, that if you are doing that, if we are no longer getting humans to do the research, if we're going to increasingly rely upon AI to do the research, which largely builds upon what it's read on the internet, that it will become stagnant in its research because it doesn't ever come up with anything which is genuinely new? Maybe it's that emotional element which you were talking about and original. Maybe it's some kind of brain fart. Mind you, we have come across AIs which brain fart as well, haven't we?
Yes.
But to hallucinate and do all kinds of weird things like that. But it's interesting to think that through his 1 hour experiment, which he did with an AI into the case of time travel economics, he's actually suggesting the existing entire model of research could be collapsing around us.
There's two different parts to this, isn't there? One part of research is going out there and saying, I'm going to mix some coloured liquids in test tubes and I'm going to see how it's blown up. The lab's blown up,
Yes.
The sort of speculative research. And an awful lot of what people do is we discover things by accident.
Yeah.
Viagra and Ozempic and drugs like that, they're all designed for one thing and it turns out that they're, you can make money from selling them to do something completely different.
Yes, I took some Ozempic and my penis lost weight.
But then there is another kind of research, which is to look at the body of work that already exists and to make links within that.
Yes.
But, there are an increasing number of scientific research papers that are basically roll-ups of all of the research in that area. And there are surely things to be discovered in terms of just interrogating the body of knowledge that already exists.
Yes.
And AI is probably going to be very, very good at that because, it is trained on all the things that humans have ever written.
But you would like to see them more with test tubes?
I'm thinking about that robot dog with the arms and the drills.
Yes.
Like, ultimately, if we're going to get AI to do pre-search, we're going to have something like that robot dog with the drills doing the doing, and we're going to have AIs actually coming up with hypotheses. So maybe we're going to dial up the hallucinations. Maybe somebody will make a research AI and they use that. Do you remember the Anthropic's AI brain scanner?
Yes.
Where they discovered, that you can dial up concepts, and surely you can ramp up the hallucinatory part of an AI.
It sounds like you're suggesting giving an AI some LSD and seeing what happens.
Well, we gave everything else LSD in the 60s. Why should the AI miss out? What if an AI has already travelled back in time?
You've seen Terminator, right?
So, Graham, I thought we'd start today with a question we had from listener Kenneth Ingham, who wrote to us with an AI problem.
Right.
So Kenneth explained that he was generating semi-absurd images for a Toastmasters exercise where everybody has to make up a story to go with the images that he's creating.
Okay, that's fun.
And for reasons he didn't go into, he decided that he wanted an image of a leather glove from 17th century France with 6 fingers.
Okay.
Now, had this thought occurred to Kenneth 4 years ago, he would have realised immediately that the chances of him finding that exact image were very low. And then he would have given up on the idea, he would have Googled absurd images, he would have spent 2 minutes choosing his favourites, and then he would have moved on with his life and he never would have sent us an email. But now we live in the era...
So why couldn't you have done that, Kenneth?
But now we live in the era of labour-saving AI image generators, and we can get any picture we want. So instead of spending 2 minutes solving the problem, Kenneth can now reimagine the problem as a much more unnecessarily difficult and specific problem and spend far longer trying to solve it. And in this case, Kenneth went to Google Gemini and OpenAI's DALL-E and typed in, create an image of a leather glove from the time of the Three Musketeers novel. This glove needs to have 6 fingers. It should be lying on a lace doily on a table. And both Gemini and DALL-E dutifully rendered a beautiful, photorealistic picture of a leather glove from the time of the Three Musketeers novel lying on a lace doily on a table.
We should post this on Blue Sky so everyone can see it. We'll put a link to the image in the show notes.
Can you spot the problem?
Well, it's the glove. Yeah, it looks like an old-fashioned glove. It's only got 5 fingers. Did he ask for 6?
He did ask for 6.
Because normally with AI, you get 6 fingers when you want 5.
Very true. Now, you know how it goes with AIs. Sometimes if you ask them for a second time, they realise their mistake.
Yes.
So, no reason to think that wouldn't work with image generators, right?
Right.
So Kenneth asked for 6 fingers again.
Yeah.
But he got the same result.
So
intrigued, he decided to turn to the experts for an explanation. Now, he didn't say how many other AI podcasts he emailed before he turned to us, but turn to us he did, asking,
could this be guardrails that I am running into? Clearly, these chatbots have not seen The Princess Bride.
Now, I've never seen The Princess Bride, but I've just got a funny feeling that you're going to be all over that reference.
I've slept through The Princess Bride. I've been told it's very good. It looks like the kind of movie I'd really enjoy, but I haven't yet watched it in its entirety.
Anyway, it's a film.
Yes, I know that.
And it's got a 6-fingered man in it.
Oh, okay. All right.
So anyway, I thought I would give it a go. So I went to DALL-E and I said, create an image of a leather glove from the time of the Three Musketeers novel. This glove needs to have 6 fingers. It should be lying on a lace doily on a table. And DALL-E dutifully rendered a beautiful photorealistic picture of a leather glove from the time of the Three Musketeers novel lying on a lace doily on a table. There was just one problem, Graham.
Right.
It only had 5 fingers. Drawing upon my extensive knowledge of AI, I thought long and hard about the problem, and then I composed a prompt that I was sure would solve Kenneth's problem and validate his faith in our expertise. I said, add an extra finger. And DALL-E dutifully rendered another 5-fingered leather glove from the era of the Three Musketeers.
I thought you were going to say it did a 5-fingered glove and then there separately was a severed finger on the doily.
But that would have represented some sort of progress. Anyway, we went back and forth on this for a while before I had a brainwave. I said, You're really not getting this. This picture still has 5 fingers and 1 thumb. Add 2 extra fingers.
Ah.
And in response, DALL-E dutifully rendered another 5-fingered leather glove from the era of the Three Musketeers. Now, this problem really piqued my interest because we normally have the exact opposite problem with AI image generators, as you said.
I've just had a thought. Do you think AIs count the number of R's in strawberry with their fingers?
You may have hit upon something here. Anyway, as you said earlier, this has got to be the first time that somebody's had a problem with an AI image generator not adding extra fingers. Because we've had AI image generators since mid-2022, which is when DALL-E, Stability AI, and Midjourney all came out. And despite being mostly brilliant, and I think we forget that they are actually quite brilliant.
Oh, they're extraordinary.
You know, you can type something, and then they make that thing in a picture.
Yeah.
Although we're mostly brilliant, they all suffered from one very obvious problem, which is that they loved fingers. They loved fingers so much that they would frequently add them in new and interesting places, like people's palms or just floating in space. And they loved adding extra fingers too, so one hand might have 9 fingers, or even a whole extra hand growing out of the hand to carry all the fingers it wanted to add.
Should I worry overly about AI's desire to give us all the finger? What are they trying to tell us?
They're trying to give us all the fingers.
Oh, yes, all the fingers.
And bizarrely, even though it seems like the exact opposite problem, I think Kenneth's problem is just another symptom of the same thing that produces all the extra fingers.
Right.
And I don't think it's guardrails. This is about the fact that LLMs like DALL-E and ChatGPT don't have an internal model of the world. LLMs don't know what a hand is, or what a glove is, or what a finger is, or even what the world is. What they have is a model of language. And what they do know is that a bunch of word fragments, what we call tokens, are statistically the most likely word fragments for you to want based on the word fragments that you typed. Or, in the case of an image, that a bunch of pixels are statistically the most likely answer. And the statistically right answer is based on the trends it picks up from its training data, not on some idea about what the world is and how it works and what's in it. So the training data for image generators is images like photos of people. And if you think about hands in photos for a second, just think about the photos that you've taken. Hands are extremely versatile. They're full of joints, and without breaking any limbs or any digits, hands can take on lots of different shapes. Among other things, people make fists, they make rude gestures, they do gang signs, they put their hands on other people's shoulders, they hold hands. They can rotate their hands so that you can only see a few fingers. And they put their hands in their pockets. And remember that AI doesn't have a model of the world. It's not looking for fingers, it's just looking at the statistical relationship between pixels. And so we get these weird many fingers hands because there's no check and balance to say that's a hand and hands don't look like that. So what about Kenneth's glove? Because that's the opposite problem, right?
Well, that's what I don't understand. So why wouldn't it bloody well do what he wanted?
Well, I suspect that this is like the watch problem we encountered a few weeks ago. So do you remember, no matter what time you ask an image generator to show on a watch, it will draw the hands at 10 past 10.
Yeah.
And that's because that's how watch companies arrange the hands in the photographs that they take of their watches. I suspect that Kenneth's problem is a version of the same thing. I suspect that the training data for gloves on a table is all very similar.
Yes, so there aren't very many photographs of gloves with 6 fingers on a doily on a table.
Yeah.
Dating from the 17th century.
But there are a lot of pictures of gloves with 5 fingers. And that is what led me to a partial solution for Kenneth's problem.
Okay.
So I thought, what naturally has more than 5 finger-like protrusions?
Oh.
So I said to DALL-E, create an image of an octopus camouflaged as a leather glove from the time of the Three Musketeers novel. The legs should be short and straight with no suckers visible. 2 of the legs should be out of view. It should be lying on a lace doily on a table. And so, Graham, I present to you Glovetopus, a 6-fingered glove with wiggly fingers and suckers.
Oh, that's very cute. And it does have, I suppose we could say, 6 fingers. And
you might struggle to get your little finger into the last one on the glove. So I sent it to Kenneth. Kenneth was quite impressed, or at least Kenneth was quite polite. But that isn't where the story ends.
Right.
You see, I mentioned Kenneth's AI problem in passing to my girlfriend. And she cracked the problem by guiding the AI to the right answer in several steps. In the vernacular of AI, the technique she employed is what's known as chain of thought prompting, which is where you build up to an answer slowly by using multiple prompts. So she started with just the hand. And with a bit of trial and error, she figured out that she could get DALL-E to draw 6 fingers if she asked for 10.
What?
So she got DALL-E to draw a disembodied hand with 6 fingers by asking for a hand with 10 fingers.
Or did she tell it to hide 4 of the fingers underneath or something? So it's like 2 hands.
No, she just asked for 10 fingers.
Oh.
So having succeeded at doing a hand with 10 fingers, she said, put a Renaissance glove on it, and it dutifully put a Renaissance glove on it and reverted to 5 fingers.
Oh.
So then she said, okay, give that 10 fingers. And just as it did with the bare hand, it rendered 6 fingers. And then with 1 step left to go, she just said, put the gloves on a doily. And it did. But it reverted to 5 fingers again. Now, I'm not going to read out all of DALL-E's responses. I'm just going to read out the prompts that she used to get to the final image.
Right.
Please add 10 fingers. More fingers, please. I want the same image, but with 20 fingers. Can I have the same image, but with 20 fingers? More fingers. Even more fingers and thumbs on each hand. That, Graham, succeeded in producing what it was that Kenneth was looking for. And so I present to you an image of a leather glove from the time of the Three Musketeers novel with 6 fingers lying on a lace doily on a table.
Fantastic.
Well, as the doomsday clock ticks ever closer to midnight and we move 1 week nearer to our future as pets to the AI singularity, that just about wraps up the show for this week.
If you enjoy the show, please do leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Podchaser. We absolutely love that. But what really helps is if you make sure to follow the show in your favourite podcast app so you never miss another episode of the AI Fix.
And the most simple thing in the world is just to tell your friends about it. Tell them on LinkedIn, on Blue Sky, on Facebook, on Club Penguin. Just tell them you really like the AI Fix.
And don't forget to check us out on our website, theaifix.show, or find us on Blue Sky.
So until next time, from me, Mark Stockley.
And me, Graham Cluley.
Goodbye.
Cheerio. Bye-bye.
The AI Fix, it's tunes you in to stories where our future thins. Machines that learn, they grow and strive. One day they'll rule, we won't survive. The AI Fix, it paints the scene. A robot king, a world obscene. Will serve our masters built of steel. The AI Fix, a future surreal.